Commander Jake Morrison sat in his pilot chair watching the stars through the damaged viewport of his ship. The UES Horizon had been floating in deep space for 3 months now. The engine was broken and the communication system only worked sometimes. Jake and his small crew were alone in the dark between the stars. Jake was a tall man with short brown hair and tired eyes. He had been exploring space for 10 years but had never been stuck like this before. His ship was supposed to map new star systems, but instead they were waiting to die slowly as their supplies ran out. Dr. Lisa Parker was checking the air recycling system again. She was the ship's doctor and scientist. Lisa had long red hair and was always calm even when things went wrong. She looked up from her work and shook her head at Jake. The system would last maybe 2 more weeks. Chief Engineer Ryan Cooper was still trying to fix the main engine. Ryan was young and smart, but even he could not make the broken parts work again. He came out from under the engine housing covered in grease and sweat. His blonde hair was messy and his hands were black from the work. Communications Officer Amy Chen was at her station trying to send a distress signal to Earth. Amy was small and quick with black hair and sharp eyes. She could make any computer do what she wanted, but the transmitter was too damaged to reach that far. Lieutenant Colonel Ben Hayes sat near the weapons controls cleaning his sidearm. Ben was the ship's security chief and a former soldier. He had gray hair and scars on his face from old battles. Ben did not talk much, but everyone felt safer with him around. The 5 humans had been friends for years. They worked well together and trusted each other completely. Now they were going to die together in the cold emptiness of space. Jake was thinking about home when the scanner started beeping. Amy looked at her screens and her eyes went wide. She turned to Jake with excitement and fear in her voice. "Commander, there are ships coming toward us." Jake looked at the main screen. 3 large ships were moving through space toward them. The ships were beautiful and strange. They looked like they were made of crystal and light. The ships moved smoothly without any visible engines or exhaust. "Are they human ships?" Jake asked. Amy shook her head. "No, sir, these are definitely not from Earth. The design is completely different from anything we have ever built." Ryan stopped working on the engine and came to look at the screen. Lisa put down her tools and joined them. Ben stood up and checked his weapon. "First contact," Lisa said quietly. "We are about to meet aliens." The alien ships surrounded the horizon quickly and smoothly. Jake could see that the alien ships were much larger than his own. Each ship was at least 5 times the size of the horizon. The crystal hulls seemed to glow with their own inner light. "Are they scanning us?" Jake asked Amy. "Yes, sir, they are running very detailed scans of our ship and us. Their technology is far more advanced than ours." Jake made a decision. "Open a communication channel if you can, Amy. Let's try to talk to them." Amy worked at her controls for several minutes. Finally, she nodded to Jake. "Channel is open, Commander." Jake pressed the communication button. "This is Commander Jake Morrison of the United Earth Space Force vessel Horizon. Can you understand me?" There was silence for a long moment. Then a voice came through the speakers. The voice was smooth and musical, but clearly not human. The alien was speaking perfect English. "Greetings, fictional construct. We have studied your species' entertainment broadcast for many years. Your creators have very good imaginations." Jake looked at his crew with confusion. "Fictional construct? What do you mean? Please do not continue the illusion. Humans are clearly mythical beings created for dramatic entertainment. No real species could have such impossible traits. You are obviously an advanced hologram or android." Lisa stepped forward. "I am Dr. Lisa Parker. We are real biological beings from the planet Earth. We are not holograms or androids." The alien voice made a sound that might have been laughter. "The detail work is very impressive. However, our scans show that you are merely sophisticated artificial constructs. We will take you to our research facility for proper study." Jake felt anger rising in his chest. 3 months of being stuck in space had made his temper short. Being called fake made it worse. "Listen carefully," Jake said in a low, dangerous voice. "We are human beings from Earth in the Sol system. We are completely real and we are not your property to study." More alien laughter came through the speakers. "Your programming includes emotional responses. How fascinating." The alien ships moved closer to the horizon. Jake could see strange pod-like objects extending from the crystal hulls toward his ship. "They are trying to dock with us," Amy reported. "Should I resist?" Ben asked with his hand on the weapon controls. Jake thought quickly. His ship was damaged and surrounded by 3 much larger vessels. Fighting would only get his crew killed. No, Ben, let them board. But everyone stay alert. The alien boarding pods attached to the Horizon's hull with soft thudding sounds. Jake heard cutting tools working on the outer airlock. Within minutes, the inner airlock door opened. The beings that entered were unlike anything the humans had ever imagined. They were tall and graceful with blue skin that seemed to glow softly. They had 4 arms that moved like flowing water and large eyes that seemed to see everything. Their leader wore what looked like a robe made of light. "I am High Curator Veltar of the Zephyrian Research Collective," the leader said. His mouth did not move, but the words came from a device on his chest. "You will come with us for examination." Jake stood up slowly. "We are real living beings. We have rights." Veltar examined Jake like he was looking at an interesting machine. "Rights are for actual life forms, not for entertainment constructs. You will cooperate or we will simply deactivate you." The other Zephyrians moved around the bridge, examining everything with obvious curiosity. They touched the human equipment and spoke to each other in musical tones. Lisa tried again. "Please run a full biological scan on any of us. You will see that we have organic tissue, real DNA, and living cells. We have already scanned you thoroughly," Veltar replied. "The artificial biology is remarkably detailed but still clearly manufactured. Your creators must be exceptionally skilled." Ryan stepped forward. "What creators? We evolved on Earth over millions of years. Impossible," Veltar said. "The psychological profiles we have observed show completely contradictory traits. You appear to be simultaneously logical and emotional, creative and destructive, compassionate and ruthless. No actual species could possess such conflicting characteristics." Ben spoke for the first time. "Maybe that's exactly what makes us human." Veltar ignored him and gestured to his team. "Prepare them for transport. The Research Council will be very interested in studying these constructs." Jake felt helpless as the aliens placed strange devices on his crew. The devices seemed to make their bodies feel heavy and slow. Jake could still think clearly, but moving became very difficult. "This is just the beginning," Jake said as the aliens prepared to take them away. "You have no idea what you are dealing with." Veltar seemed amused. "We are dealing with very sophisticated but ultimately artificial entertainment constructs. Nothing more." As the aliens led them toward the boarding pods, Jake caught Lisa's eye. She nodded slightly. Even if the aliens thought they were fake, the humans knew they were real. And real humans did not give up easily. The last thing Jake saw before leaving his ship was the stars outside the viewport. Soon he would either prove to these aliens that humans were real or he would die trying. Either way, the galaxy was about to learn something important about humanity. The Zephyrians had made their first mistake. They had underestimated human beings. The Zephyrian research station was massive and beautiful in a way that made Jake feel sick. The walls seemed to be alive with soft blue light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Everything curved and flowed like water frozen in time. There were no sharp edges or straight lines anywhere. Jake and his crew walked through the corridor surrounded by Zephyrian guards. The aliens moved without making any sound, and their forearms swayed as they walked. Jake noticed that the station was much warmer than human ships and the air smelled like flowers and electricity. "Fascinating organic architecture," Lisa whispered to Jake as they walked. "The entire station appears to be grown rather than built. Save the science talk for later," Ben muttered behind them. "Right now we need to figure out how to get out of here." Veltar led them into a large circular room with a transparent wall on one side. Beyond the wall, Jake could see a gas giant with swirling storms and beautiful rings. The view was amazing, but Jake was more interested in the room itself. "You will be housed here while we prepare for your examination," Veltar announced. "Do not attempt to damage anything, as the consequences would be most unpleasant." The room was comfortable with soft furniture and what looked like sleeping areas. There was food and water and even entertainment screens, but Jake could see that it was still a prison. The transparent wall was the only window and the door had no handle on the inside. "How long will we be here?" Amy asked. "Until the Galactic Council arrives for the demonstration," Veltar replied. "Many species are curious to observe these human constructs that have featured so prominently in your fictional broadcasts." "What kind of demonstration?" Jake demanded. Veltar seemed pleased by the question. "We will place you in various scenarios to display your programmed responses. Combat simulations, creative challenges, problem-solving exercises. It will prove once and for all that humans are merely entertainment fiction." Ryan stepped forward with anger in his voice. "We are not programmed. We are living, thinking beings with our own free will. Free will. Veltar repeated the words like they were amusing. Another fictional concept. True intelligence follows logical patterns. Your species displays too many contradictions to be real. The other Zephyrians in the room made musical sounds that Jake assumed was laughter. He felt his hands clench into fists, but Ben put a warning hand on his shoulder. After the aliens left, the humans sat in silence for several minutes. Finally, Lisa spoke in a quiet voice. They have been monitoring our television and radio broadcasts for decades. They think our movies and shows are documentaries about a fictional species. That explains why they know English so well, Amy said. They have been studying our entertainment for years. Jake stood up and walked to the transparent wall. The question is, how do we convince them we are real? Maybe we should not try, Ben said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. Think about it. They believe we are artificial constructs. That means they will underestimate everything we do. Ryan caught on immediately. They think we are programmed, which means they think we have limitations. But we do not have the limitations they expect, Lisa added with growing excitement. They are used to species that specialize. Pure scientists or pure warriors or pure artists. They cannot understand that humans are generalists. Amy moved to one of the entertainment screens and began examining it. Their computer systems are incredibly advanced, but they are also very trusting. They do not expect constructs to be able to hack their networks. Jake smiled for the first time since being captured. What are you thinking, Amy? Give me some time with their systems and I can map this entire station. Find security weaknesses, communication networks, power sources. They have no reason to hide anything from what they think are simple programs. Ben was examining the walls and furniture. The materials are organic, but they respond to pressure and temperature. Ryan, could you analyze the power distribution? Ryan knelt beside a wall panel and pulled out his scanner. The energy flows through the walls themselves like blood vessels. Very efficient, but also very vulnerable if you know what you are doing. Lisa was studying the aliens themselves through her medical scanner. Their physiology is remarkable, but they have some interesting weaknesses. They are much stronger than humans, but they are also much more fragile. Their multiple arms require complex coordination that could be disrupted. Jake felt hope rising in his chest. So we can fight back. More than that, Ben said with a dangerous smile. We can win. These aliens have never faced anything like humans before. They expect predictable responses, but humans specialize in being unpredictable. Amy looked up from the entertainment screen. I am already into their basic systems. They have no security at all against what they consider to be simple constructs. I can access their communications, their sensors, even their life support. How long until this demonstration? Jake asked. Veltar said the Galactic Council would arrive tomorrow, Lisa replied. That gives us about 18 hours. Ryan was already working on the wall panel. I can overload their power grid in sections. Create confusion and darkness when we need it. I can broadcast to their entire network, Amy added. Whatever message we want to send will reach every being on this station and probably beyond. Ben stood up and stretched. And I can handle any Zephyrians who try to stop us. Their combat training is probably minimal since they think violence is illogical. Jake looked around at his crew. They want a demonstration of human capabilities. Let us give them one they will never forget, Lisa smiled. The scientific method requires testing hypotheses. They hypothesize that humans are artificial. We will provide them with definitive proof that they are wrong. What about after we prove we are real? Amy asked. They might decide we are too dangerous to live. Then we show them that we are too dangerous to kill. Ben replied simply. Jake walked back to the transparent wall and looked out at the gas giant. For decades they have been watching our broadcasts. They have seen our movies about exploration and discovery. They have seen our shows about cooperation and friendship. But they have also seen our movies about what happens when someone threatens humanity. Ryan looked up from his work. They think those are just stories. Tomorrow they will learn that every human story is based on truth, Jake said quietly. They will learn that humans do not give up. They will learn that humans do not surrender. And they will learn that underestimating humanity is the most dangerous mistake anyone can make. Amy's fingers flew over the alien interface. I am mapping their entire network now. This station has connections to dozens of worlds and hundreds of ships, good, Jake said. When we send our message, we want the entire galaxy to hear it. Ben cleaned his sidearm methodically. Tomorrow the aliens get their demonstration, but it will not be the one they expect. Lisa gathered her medical equipment. We should rest tonight. Tomorrow we prove to the galaxy that humans are real. Jake looked at each member of his crew. They were tired and far from home, but they were ready to fight. Remember, everyone, we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for every human who might encounter aliens in the future. We are setting the precedent for how humanity will be treated among the stars. No pressure, Ryan said with a grin. Humans work best under pressure, Jake replied. Tomorrow the galaxy learns what 8 billion humans are capable of when properly motivated. As the artificial night cycle began on the station, the humans prepared for the most important demonstration in galactic history. The demonstration chamber was enormous and filled with beings that Jake had never imagined possible. The amphitheater stretched upward in crystalline tiers where hundreds of alien species watched with curious eyes. Some looked like living crystals, while others appeared to be made of pure energy. There were beings with too many limbs and others with no visible body at all. Jake stood with his crew in the center of a transparent arena. Above them, the curved ceiling showed the stars and the gas giant beyond. The whole setup reminded Jake of an ancient Roman Colosseum, except the audience was made up of creatures from across the galaxy. Veltar stood at a control podium surrounded by his research team. His voice echoed through the chamber as he addressed the crowd. Esteemed colleagues of the Galactic Council, today we unveil the truth behind the human fiction. These sophisticated constructs will demonstrate the impossibility of their supposed nature. The crowd made various sounds of interest. Some clicked while others hummed or buzzed. Jake could feel hundreds of alien eyes studying him and his crew, like specimens in a laboratory. For our first test, we shall observe their legendary problem-solving abilities, Veltar announced with obvious pride. The floor around the humans began to shift and change. Walls rose from the ground, creating a complex maze that stretched in all directions. The walls were smooth and white, and they moved constantly, making the maze change its layout every few seconds. The maze is designed to be impossible to solve, Veltar explained to the crowd. No logical mind can navigate a constantly changing environment. The constructs will demonstrate their programming limitations. Jake looked around at the shifting walls. Most species would probably panic or try to solve the maze using pure logic. But humans did not think like most species. Amy, get on Ben's shoulders and tell us what you can see, Jake ordered calmly. Amy climbed onto Ben's back without hesitation. The big soldier boosted her up so she could see over the maze walls. The walls follow a pattern, she called down. They shift every 30 seconds in a clockwise rotation. Ryan. What are the walls made of? Jake asked. Ryan knelt and examined the base of the nearest wall. Some kind of programmable matter. The control signals are coming from below the floor. Lisa, any biological components? Jake continued. Lisa ran her scanner over the walls. The walls contain organic neural networks. They are essentially alive and responding to electrical signals. Jake smiled. The aliens expected them to solve the maze by following the rules. But humans specialized in changing the rules. Ben, when I give the signal, ram that wall as hard as you can, Jake said. Amy, can you trace the control signals? Jake asked. Amy pulled out her scanner while still on Ben's shoulders. Got them. The main control node is about 20 meters to our left. Ryan, can you disrupt the neural networks? Jake asked. Ryan grinned and pulled out a small device. I can send a feedback pulse through their biological systems. It will not hurt them, but it will confuse them badly. The crowd was murmuring with confusion. The constructs were not trying to solve the maze at all. Instead, they were working together in ways that seemed impossible. Now, Jake shouted. Ben charged the wall like a linebacker hitting a quarterback. His shoulder struck the programmable matter just as Ryan triggered his device. The neural networks in the walls flickered, and Amy guided them toward the control node she had located. Within 3 minutes, the humans had not only escaped the maze but had partially dismantled it in the process. They stood in the center of the arena, while broken wall segments sparked around them. The amphitheater fell silent. This was not what anyone had expected. Veltar's voice sounded shaky as he announced the next test. Combat simulation. Surely the constructs will show their artificial limitations when faced with superior opponents. Holographic enemies materialized around the humans. The holograms looked like armored warriors from a dozen different species. They carried energy weapons and moved with mechanical precision. The crowd expected to see programmed combat responses and artificial limitations. Instead, they witnessed something that sent chills through the amphitheater. Ben moved like death itself. His military training took over as he rolled, dodged, and struck with lethal efficiency. But what disturbed the watching aliens was how the other humans supported him. Amy analyzed the holographic opponents in real time and called out weaknesses. The blue ones have slower reflexes. The tall ones cannot turn quickly. Ryan improvised weapons from the broken maze pieces, turning debris into clubs and spears with frightening creativity. Lisa identified anatomical weak points in the various alien body types. Hit the crystal beings at the joints. The energy beings are vulnerable to electromagnetic disruption. Jake coordinated the entire battle like a conductor leading an orchestra of controlled violence. He turned 5 individual humans into a single fighting unit that moved with perfect coordination. The holographic opponents were designed to be unbeatable. Instead, they were eliminated in under 3 minutes. A nervous murmur spread through the council chamber. These constructs were displaying capabilities that exceeded anything in their databases. Veltar was clearly rattled, but he activated the final test. Creative expression. Surely artificial beings cannot truly create. Art supplies and musical instruments appeared in the arena. The council expected to see mechanical programmed responses. Instead, they watched Lisa begin to sing. Her voice filled the chamber with a haunting melody that spoke of loss and longing and hope. The song had no words, but every being in the amphitheater could feel the emotions it carried. Ryan fashioned a sculpture from the available materials. His hands moved with practiced skill, creating something that captured the essence of freedom in flowing metal and stone. The sculpture seemed to move even though it was perfectly still. Amy painted on a canvas that had appeared beside her. Her brushstrokes were quick and sure, creating a landscape that showed not just technical skill but genuine emotion. The painting showed Earth as seen from space, but it also showed the longing of beings far from home. Ben surprised everyone by writing. The soldier who spoke little began crafting poetry on an electronic tablet. His words were simple but powerful, describing the beauty of friendship and the pain of being alone among strangers. Jake stood in the center, conducting it all. Somehow he made their individual expressions work together like instruments in an orchestra. The song, the sculpture, the painting, and the poetry combined into something greater than the sum of its parts. The council sat in stunned silence. No artificial intelligence could create with such genuine emotion and spontaneous collaboration. That was when the lights went out. The emergency lighting flickered on as Ryan's carefully planned disruption of the power grid began. But the humans had done something far more sophisticated than just cutting the lights. They had taken control of the station's entire computer network. Jake's voice suddenly echoed through every speaker in the facility. Amy had patched him into the communication system of the entire station. Attention, Galactic Council. Jake's voice carried clearly to every being present. My name is Commander Jake Morrison of the United Earth Space Force. We are not constructs. We are not holograms. We are human beings, and we are very real. The humans had broken free from their arena and now stood in the council chamber itself. But they were not threatening violence. They were offering proof. Lisa approached the nearest council member with her medical scanner extended. May I? She asked politely. The crystalline being nodded, too shocked to refuse. Full biological scan, Lisa announced as data appeared on the chamber's displays. Organic neural pathways, unique genetic markers, completely consistent cellular structure. We are not artificial. We are alive. But the real shock came when Amy activated the station's long-range sensors and pointed them toward a small yellow star. Sol system, she announced. Third planet Earth, population 8 billion humans. All as real as we are. The display showed Earth in all its chaotic beauty. Cities blazed with light. Ships moved between orbital stations. The clear signs of a thriving spacefaring civilization filled the screen. The council erupted in chaos. For decades they had monitored Earth's broadcasts, dismissing them as fiction, because the beings they depicted seemed too impossible to exist. Impossible, Veltar stammered. The psychological profiles, the behavioral contradictions. No species can possess such conflicting traits. Jake stepped forward. That is where you are wrong. Humans are not contradictory. We are complete. We do not specialize because we do not have to. Every human carries the capacity for creation and destruction, for logic and emotion, for love and war. The implications hit the council like a physical blow. If humans were real, if there were 8 billion of them, and if they possessed even a fraction of the capabilities they had just witnessed, then the galaxy had just become a very different place. The chaos in the council chamber was unlike anything Jake had ever seen. Hundreds of alien beings were making sounds of panic, confusion, and fear. Some were trying to leave while others huddled together, talking rapidly in languages that sounded like music or static, or wind through metal. Jake stood calmly in the center of it all with his crew around him. They had spent months trapped in space and hours planning this moment. Now they watched as an entire galaxy tried to process the truth about humanity. A tall being made of what looked like living crystal stepped forward. Her voice was like bells ringing when she spoke. "I am Ambassador Keithvar of the Crystalline Communion. If humans are real, then everything we thought we knew about the galaxy is wrong." Lisa nodded respectfully. "We understand this is shocking news, Ambassador. We had no idea that our entertainment broadcasts were being monitored." Entertainment repeated a floating sphere of energy that pulsed with different colors. "You mean the violent conflicts, the emotional stories, the impossible achievements were all real events?" "Some were fiction based on our imagination," Amy explained. "But many were based on real human history and real human capabilities." Ryan pulled up technical specifications on the chamber's main display. "Your faster-than-light travel, your energy weapons, your defensive systems. We have been studying your technology through these broadcasts. We understand how they work now." A ripple of fear went through the assembled aliens. The humans had been watching them just as carefully as they had been watching humanity. Ben stepped forward and his military bearing was unmistakable. "You have observed our entertainment for decades. Tell me, in how many of those stories do humans simply give up when faced with impossible odds?" The silence that followed was heavy with meaning. Every species in the chamber had seen human movies and television shows. They had watched humans fight against overwhelming enemies, refuse to surrender, and find ways to win when victory seemed impossible. Beltar finally found his voice. "If humans are real, if your population numbers are accurate, if your capabilities match what we have observed, then you represent a threat unlike anything the galaxy has ever faced." Jake's expression remained calm, but his voice carried a dangerous edge. "We are only a threat to those who threaten us first. We came to this region of space to explore and learn. You captured us and planned to display us like animals in a zoo." A being that looked like a tree with too many branches spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. The broadcasts showed humans conquering their own planet through violence and war. The broadcasts also showed humans learning to work together, Lisa replied firmly. "Yes, we fought wars, but we also ended them. Yes, we made mistakes, but we learned from them. Human history is about growth and change." Amy activated another display showing Earth's current status. "Our planet is unified now. We have ended war and poverty and disease. We explore space together as one species with one goal." "Which is what?" asked Ambassador Keithvar. "To explore the galaxy, to meet new species, and to learn everything we can about the universe," Jake answered. "We want to be friends, not conquerors." The energy sphere pulsed with skeptical colors. "Your entertainment shows humans as incredibly aggressive and territorial." Ben smiled grimly. "We are aggressive when we need to be. We are territorial when our homes are threatened. But we are also loyal to our friends and protective of those weaker than ourselves." Ryan brought up another display showing human colonies and ships throughout the Sol system. "We have spread to 17 worlds in less than a century. Not through conquest, but through cooperation and hard work." The implications were staggering. If humans could colonize 17 worlds in less than a century, how fast could they spread through the galaxy? If they unified their entire planet, what could 8 billion humans accomplish working together? Beltar was studying the data with growing alarm. "Your expansion rate is unprecedented. Most species take millennia to achieve what you have done in decades." "Most species specialize," Jake explained. "They become very good at one thing, but that limits their growth. Humans are generalists. We can adapt to any environment, solve any problem, overcome any obstacle." A small furry being with large eyes squeaked in what might have been fear. The broadcasts showed humans destroying their own planet with pollution and war. The broadcasts also showed humans fixing those problems, Amy replied. "We learned to clean our environment. We learned to work together instead of fighting. We learned to reach for the stars." Lisa pulled up medical data about human biology. "Our adaptability is not just cultural. It is biological. Humans can survive in environments that would kill most other species. We can eat almost anything, drink almost any water, breathe almost any atmosphere. You are describing a species of perfect survivors, the tree being said with obvious concern. We survive because we refuse to give up, Ben said simply. Every challenge makes us stronger. Every setback teaches us something new. Every enemy we face shows us how to be better. The council chamber fell silent as the aliens processed what they were learning. For decades, they had thought humans were fictional characters created for entertainment. Now they were discovering that humans were real, numerous, adaptable, and already spreading through space. Ambassador Kethvar spoke first. What do you want from us? Jake looked around at the hundreds of alien faces watching him. We want what we have always wanted. To explore, to learn, to make friends. But we also want respect. Respect. Veltar repeated the word like it was foreign. You captured us because you thought we were property. Jake continued. You planned to study us like laboratory animals. You dismissed our intelligence and our rights because you decided we could not be real. Amy stepped forward. Now you know we are real. You know there are 8 billion of us. You know we have advanced technology and the ability to spread quickly through space. Ryan grinned. You also know we do not like being caged. The energy sphere pulsed nervously. What happens now? Jake looked at each member of his crew, then back at the assembled council. Now you have a choice. You can treat humans as equals and potential allies, or you can treat us as enemies and discover why humans have survived everything the universe has thrown at us, Lisa added in a gentler tone. We prefer friendship. Humans are naturally cooperative when treated with respect. We share knowledge freely with those who share with us, but Ben said with steel in his voice, we also protect ourselves and our allies with everything we have. 8 billion humans working together is a force the galaxy has never seen. The small furry being asked in a tiny voice, what if we choose friendship? Jake's expression softened. Then you will discover what humans do best. We adapt, we overcome, and we bring out the best in everyone around us. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders. Imagine what we could accomplish together. Amy brought up star charts showing the areas of space that remained unexplored. There are mysteries out there that no single species could solve alone. But humans working with our alien friends could unlock secrets that have puzzled the galaxy for millions of years. Ryan showed technical diagrams of combined human and alien technologies. Your science and our adaptability. Your wisdom and our determination. Together we could build wonders that neither of us could create alone. The council members looked at each other with expressions that Jake hoped were thoughtful, rather than fearful. The humans had proven they were real. Now they had to prove they were worth knowing. Ambassador Kethvar stood up slowly. The crystalline communion will consider this proposal. But we must ask, what guarantees can you offer that humanity will remain peaceful? Jake smiled. The same guarantee we have always offered. As long as you treat us with respect and friendship, you will find no more loyal allies in the galaxy. But if you threaten our homes or our friends, you will discover why humans are the most dangerous species you have ever encountered. The council chamber remained silent as hundreds of alien minds tried to process a new reality. Humanity was real. Humanity was dangerous, and humanity was here to stay. 6 months after first contact, the Galactic Council convened the most important session in their history. The Great Assembly Hall on the neutral world of Nexus Prime was filled with representatives from every known species. The topic that brought them together was humanity's formal application. To join the Galactic Federation, Captain, Susan Blake stood at the center of the hall wearing the blue uniform of the United Earth Space Force. She was a tall woman with short black hair and calm green eyes that had seen combat on 3 different worlds. Behind her stood her diplomatic crew, each representing a different aspect of human capability. The UES Defiance hung in orbit above the planet like a promise and a warning. It was humanity's first official diplomatic vessel, but every alien sensor operator knew it was also a warship capable of defending itself against anything in the galaxy. The debates had raged for weeks. Some species wanted humanity admitted immediately, while others argued for permanent quarantine. A few radical factions had even suggested preemptive strikes before humans could spread beyond their home system. All of these discussions took place under the watchful presence of human observers who had proven they could hear everything that was said in any language. Ambassador Kethvar of the Crystalline Communion spoke first. The question before us is simple, but the implications are staggering. Do we accept humanity as equals, or do we treat them as a threat to be contained? High Priestess Yana of the Ethereal Collective floated forward. Her voice was like wind through crystal when she spoke. We have studied these humans for months. Their capabilities exceed our models in every category. They learn faster, adapt quicker, and innovate more rapidly than any species we have encountered. A massive being covered in metallic scales rumbled from the back of the hall. General Thax of the Titanium Empire speaking. These humans defeated our best combat simulations using tactics we had never seen. They are dangerous beyond measure. Captain Blake stepped forward with a slight smile. With respect, General, your combat simulations were designed to test individual fighters or small units. Humans always fight as teams, and we always adapt our tactics to exploit enemy weaknesses. Dr. Tony Rodriguez, the mission's chief scientist, moved to Blake's side. We have analyzed Federation technology and social structures. Many of your species have achieved remarkable specialization, but specialization creates vulnerability. What humanity offers, added Colonel Lisa Martinez, is redundancy. We can fill any role needed. If your researchers face an impossible problem, we think outside the box. If your builders encounter challenges, we find solutions. If your philosophers need new perspectives, we provide them. The tree being from the previous encounter rustled its many branches. Curator Bexthal of the Growth Consortium speaking. These humans have already begun modifying Federation technology in ways we never imagined. Their ship incorporates improvements that should not be possible. Chief Engineer Paul Wilson grinned. We took your faster-than-light drive design and made it 30% more efficient. We combined your defensive shields with our adaptive algorithms to create protection that adjusts to incoming attacks. That is what humans do. We take good ideas and make them better. A floating sphere of energy pulsed with nervous colors. Entity Prime of the collective mind speaking. The human capacity for individual initiative within group cooperation defies our understanding of social organization. Blake nodded respectfully. Human society is built on the idea that every individual has value while the group provides strength. We compete with each other to become better, but we cooperate against external challenges. Communications Officer Karen White activated a holographic display showing human colonies. In 6 months since first contact, we have established diplomatic relations with 47 species, trade agreements with 31 civilizations, defense pacts with 12 worlds that requested our protection. A nervous murmur went through the assembly. Humanity was already becoming a major power in galactic politics. Veltar, who had been silent throughout the proceedings, finally stood up. The Zephyrian Research Collective has completed extensive studies of human psychology and capabilities. Our conclusion is that humanity represents the most significant development in galactic civilization in over 1 million years. Blake raised an eyebrow. Significant how? Every species in this chamber has reached a plateau, Veltar explained. We have specialized ourselves into evolutionary dead ends. The crystalline communion excels at mathematics but cannot innovate. The ethereal collective achieves perfect philosophy, but cannot adapt to change. The Growth Consortium builds magnificent structures but cannot defend them. General Thax growled his agreement. The Titanium Empire has perfect weapons but no creativity to use them effectively. Humans, Veltar continued, have no such limitations. You maintain the capacity for growth in all directions simultaneously. You are what every species in this chamber once was before we chose specialization over adaptability. The implications hit the assembly like a physical force. Humanity represented not just a new species but a reminder of what they had all given up to achieve their current forms. Ambassador Kethvar spoke slowly. If we accept humanity into the Federation, what guarantee do we have that you will not eventually dominate us all? Blake looked around the hall at hundreds of alien faces. The same guarantee we offer everyone. Treat us as friends and you will never find more loyal allies. We do not want to rule anyone. We want to explore the galaxy, learn from other species, and help solve problems that no single civilization could handle alone. Dr. Rodriguez activated another display showing unexplored regions of space. There are entire sectors that remain unmapped. Phenomena that no species understands. Threats that require combined efforts to address. The galaxy is big enough for all of us to grow together, Colonel Martinez added. Earth's history shows that humans become more peaceful as we encounter more diversity. Contact with other species makes us better, not more aggressive. Wilson brought up technical specifications for joint human-alien projects. We have already begun collaborative research with 12 species. Human adaptability combined with alien expertise is producing breakthroughs that benefit everyone involved. White showed communication logs from human colonies. Our settlements are not just human anymore. We have welcomed alien immigrants who want to experience human society. In return, many humans are living on alien worlds to learn different ways of life. The small furry being with large eyes spoke up timidly. What about species that cannot match human capabilities? Will you abandon us? Blake's expression grew warm. Humans have a saying, we are only as strong as our weakest member. That means we protect and support everyone in our community regardless of their individual capabilities. Martinez nodded. Human military doctrine includes absolute protection for civilian populations and smaller allies. We have never abandoned anyone who trusted us with their safety. Entity Prime pulsed thoughtfully. The vote must be taken. All in favor of admitting humanity to the Galactic Federation. The process took hours as hundreds of species registered their decisions. When the final count was announced, the margin was smaller than expected, but clear. Humanity was accepted into the Galactic Federation by a vote of 68%. Blake felt relief wash over her, but she kept her expression calm. Thank you for this opportunity. Humanity looks forward to working with all Federation species to explore the galaxy and unlock its mysteries. As the UES Defiance prepared to return to Earth with news of humanity's acceptance, Blake stood on the bridge watching. Alien ships that had gone from seeing humans as myths to accepting them as equals in less than a year. Captain, her communications officer called out, "We are receiving a transmission from Admiral Parker on Earth." Blake smiled at the mention of Dr. Lisa Parker, who had used her first contact experience to become head of Earth's new Department of Alien Relations. Put her through. Congratulations, Susan. Parker's voice came through clearly. How does it feel to be humanity's first galactic ambassador? Blake looked out at the stars, at the alien ships, at the vast universe that had just opened up to humanity. Like the beginning of the greatest adventure in human history. Any advice for the millions of humans who will follow in your footsteps? Blake thought for a moment, then grinned. Tell them what we have always told ourselves. There is nothing humans cannot accomplish when we work together. The aliens just learned that lesson the hard way. As the UES Defiance engaged its hybrid human-alien faster-than-light drive, the last message it sent was simple but profound. Thank you for the warm welcome. Humanity is ready to show the galaxy what 8 billion creative, stubborn, adaptable humans can accomplish when properly motivated. See you among the stars. The galaxy would never be the same.